if there's anybody in the public that's here to talk about anything, we hear them first. And then we handle those resolutions. And then we go through the list of whatever's left and ask around the table, does anybody have an issue with any of these? And I will have shared in advance those that I think might have an issue. And anybody else who wants to do so is also can do so. And then I think we go like this with the rest of it.
And I think it's important that we all look at the applications themselves and that we all have comments and that we don't just read them for you. I mean, I think everybody appreciates the work that you put in, Mark, but it sort of takes away from people's responsibility to not be looking at it themselves. You know what
So
I
I can
mean?
do it and not share.
Well, everybody.
And I,
Well, my own for tonight, but you know, I didn't. See it. I mean,
Are we
what I
doing the
got.
joints?
So what I,
This is supposed to go on.
Barbara, so what I think kind of suggested in a past meeting was something similar, but we'd have to have everybody agree that if by a certain date prior to the meeting, we have all reviewed and put comments, because I think what you're saying works. But like if we go, because I don't think the Mark's form, you can't go in and edit it.
Sure you can.
Oh, I thought mine wasn't. Maybe I can leave comment, is if you can leave comment, if everyone just can leave, you know, if it's 48 or 72 hours before the meeting, if everyone can just go leave any comments they have on the application, those can then be discussed in the meeting, but any application that don't have any comment, we basically do what you say, we approve them, and I don't know if we can just even bundle those together, unless there's public
I
comment.
need a clarification.
Yes,
Wait, Barbara,
perfect.
I need a clarification because I looked at, this is what I got yesterday from Jesse. I got the agenda and BTI agenda. Where the heck do I find?
The link was sent from Mark in his email.
Yeah, and you should have it directly from you too. It should
Oh,
be,
there should be. a
if you go into
Doc.
Google Drive, and then there's a subheading called shared with me or shared with you, shared with me, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Then, and under that should be BCI.
Yes.
Because that's how I've got it. And then under
Yeah.
BCI, there's dining out, and then under dining out, there's, I think it's applications, and then under that, it's August, September, October, which I believe is organized by the month that the application was received, not the month in which the committee is going to hear and decide.
I want
Okay,
to,
so Mark, the last email I got from you,
Mhm.
this is from you, was on August 13th. So that's what you're talking about?
no.
Then I missed you on the most. Then I missed you on the most.
and I can also add that those, that the Jesse uploads them into the drive, which you all board members of both committees have access to. And Jesse, Mark described it pretty accurately, actually. It's well organized in there. I think I see Doug with a hand.
Andrew.
Yeah, I would just say, so I think that's what the main question here is can we agree as two committees to have all reviewed and submit comments by a time period before the meeting?
So, yeah, so, two things I think are important. One
She's
is,
not on the list.
Hey, Mark, put me on the
excuse me,
I will
Sorry.
put her.
one thing is that we have been criticized publicly for rubber stamping and the public must be involved. So Mark's point of soliciting and asking for if there's any community input is essential. Of course. It can't be, it has to happen.
Yeah, no,
The second thing is that, I agree with expediting the process and consolidating. And of course, if we have a bunch of applicants that are non-controversial, procedurally, we should also bundle those at the committee level and at the full board.
These don't get put in front of the
They
full.
don't get in front of.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
This
So
is
then
this committee.
bundling.
I'd like to add to, sorry. I'd like to add to what Andrew said about a time period. I feel that if anyone can't take the responsibility to look at this before the meeting, you're SOL. You missed out. You had an opportunity to make a comment beforehand. And if you want to show up tonight and then see it for the first time and make a
And it's
comment,
complicated
it's too late.
stuff.
Having silence. in
But
person.
we really do have.
No, we're-
But I understand
We
your
have to have
point.
it, we have to have it, agreement with each
Tell
other.
them
Well, I
they're
think
SOL.
This is, BCI has traditionally been one of the few committees and transportation where people really are invested
Yes.
in what's going on. So I don't think, I think that what you're talking about is an expectation, but I think everybody's up to it.
I do, and I just feel like that when
Yeah.
we show up to a meeting and we haven't seen the material, it's not fair to everybody else who has reviewed that material. I know I'm sound like a broken record because I say this all the time, but it doesn't take that long to, even if you do one a day, because there's enough time to look at it all. And if you have a comment, put it on the thing.
Aren't these basically seasonal too? That
Yes.
you won't get this kind of
Correct.
tremendous amount after a certain.
After we get through this
well. It's gonna be next June.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, I don't know how many we have. Max does know, but I think it's in excess of 100.
That's what he says.
But
Yeah.
after we get through this.
So, and
initial-
our team, if we went through them one by.
On the dock before the meeting.
So, wait, you
You
mean
can
time,
use it.
48 hours?
Well, you know.
24 hours?
I
I
think
just think
48 hours is fair.
24, if so 24 hours, so let's just make it, so if there was 10 applications in this month. Within 24 hours before the meeting, if 5 of those applications have no board, committee member comments on it, then we will presume they are all approved. We come to the meeting, we ask if there's any public comment on those applications. If there is, we deal with it and we,
Yeah.
can take one of those applications out and deal with it, individually. For the ones that there's not,
I think we need to make a slight amendment to that, which is everybody should come to the meeting ready to say yes, yes with conditions or no. But the open meetings law kind of requires us to make our decisions in the room, not by email before with each other.
Right, yeah, we're not. We're
Yeah.
just making
No, no,
comments.
We
We're not
can,
making
we can do our homework, and that's the point.
If everybody comes
that's the
having
entirety. I think
reviewed the
that's a
site
given.
plans
Barbara's a great
and
idea.
saying yes, and they're ready to say yes, no, or yes with conditions, then we can go bing, bang, boom.
And
How far in advance will we get this? Because those of us on transportation, we're the night before your meeting, so we're sort of busy right up. So how early do we get these?
we get them when we get them. I mean, they come out on.
They come in on
Mondays, right? I think
Mondays,
Max
so
said-
it's conceivable that we would have, some of them would be only there for a day or two.
But I think Max says DOT gives them to us on Mondays.
Yeah, that's right. So, for most of the first 3 Mondays, you'll have ample time, but then it's as soon as they come on, like 2 days ago, that Monday, then as soon as Jesse can get them in there, you'll have like 48-ish hours.
Am I right about that?
I didn't see any.
2 days?
all right, you're the applicants.
have
that
this-
make a decision at the end of the-
I lost a little audio. I didn't know if there was a question for me.
Let's
So you guys start your meeting.
Yeah.
Pretend I'm not here, okay?
Wait, let me just ask, member has a question of the applicant, and the applicant is not present during our meeting. Are we gonna just not vote on it, or are we gonna abstain on that, or?
No,
what?
we're gonna take action because we're probably gonna have to. If that person has a question for the applicant and can convey it to me or to the district office, even better, and they can confer with the applicant, that's great. But whatever, I think you have to assume the bad result and write the condition, and write that as a
That's part of
condition.
the condition of the
Hey,
approval.
Max, can you make sure I'm on the list, though? Okay. Thanks.
It's
Yeah.
been shared with everybody. I see access, like all board members have it. We can show you how to like save it on your things. That way you just have to do one click and then you can enter it.
Yeah,
We-
no, Oh, the Google Doc. Okay, just share it with the file. Okay.
If you want to hit us up tomorrow, we can like walk you through it. It's no problem.
I use Google Docs all the
You won't
time,
have that
Max. I
problem.
just wasn't on the list, but I'll
Yeah,
find it.
anybody can send me an email too if they have any questions about accessing it.
Can we get started?
Yeah.
All right, first application is 245 West 72nd. It's an application for 2-year liquor license by Picky Barista West. Are the applicants here to present the application?
I'm here.
Yeah. Online.
Great, fantastic. If you could give us your name, that would be great.
Dragan Bulic.
Oh,
Okay,
Dragan, Ragan Bulic.
Fantastic, great. Please tell us about your application.
So we're applying for a liquor license, full liquor license. It's a coffee shop. Basically what we want to do is we want to expand our menu a little bit. It's still going to be a coffee shop, but we're going to add a little twist to it. Not necessarily want to stay late nights, but we want to do, specialty drink with espressos, maybe like some cheese boards, wine after hours and stuff like that. Something like what we have in our location on the 667 Columbus Avenue.
You have a few units. This is your third?
This is our fourth location.
I don't know if you heard you.
Oh, can you hear us?
I-
Four.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
four
'cause I looked it up.
locations. One location we have on the east side on Lexington and the 82nd.
That doesn't count.
Did you recently change the name?
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Yes, we did.
What's the story with that? I got confused.
Yeah.
So there's a few stories behind that. A lot of people confuse us with a Peaky Blinders show, which we don't. Yeah, which we don't have anything to do with it. Like the vibe when you get into the shop is totally European, bright
Definitely.
colors, while the Peaky Blinders from 1920s Birmingham gang, there's everything dark and and I wanted to play with words because I always wearing the picky hats, and I'm a picky barista. I'm picking what really picky when so I was playing with words. But because I was watching at that time the Peaky Blinders show, I was like, you know what? Let's do the Peaky Barista. We got a few bad reviews on Google because, I thought this is a team Peaky Blinders. This is nothing to do with. So I had a plan to do it, but to be honest with you, what rushes me to change the name was the producing company of Peaky Blinder was complaining about it. Hello? I lost the audio.
We can hear you still on Zoom. There's a
Yeah,
chance they might be able to hear you still.
they
Sometimes
lost.
it kind of cuts in and out a little bit. You may have to give it a minute.
Yeah, I'll wait for it. Yeah.
Lex, their video is also out.
Yeah, they're blocked. Yeah.
Oh, really? I'm seeing the visual. I'm just not seeing like they're frozen in it. Is that what you're seeing, Zima?
They
No,
froze. Yeah, I
I'm
don't
seeing a
see
black screen for them and
Yeah.
no audio as well.
Right. I have no
I can
audio.
see 3 of them smiling.
Oh, you are.
I'm texting Alex now. Okay, I think they're just restarting it. Should be set in a sec. They just need to flip their audio. Should be good to go.
I still see you just fine.
Oh, there we go.
Now you should hear us.
Should be good now.
Oh,
Just-
okay. Do you hear me?
Your app-
Yep.
Yes, your application says midnight every night. Is that correct? Is that what you plan on doing?
To be honest with you, it's not gonna be midnight. I did it because I just want to stay. If we have some kind of parties, they want to stay like till 11:30. We close at 12. I don't think it's gonna be more than that. We all have family. We want to go home. The reason why I open a coffee shop and get out of the restaurant business is because I want to be home at 6 o'clock. So I don't have a strength to stay till like that long. So this is just because, if you have like small parties still from 7 to or 8 to 11, then, we can stay. They froze again.
Yeah,
Do you hear me?
we hear you though.
Oh, yeah.
Any other board questions, comments? Any comments or questions from the community? Okay.
I'm here listening.
All questions.
Committee members.
You guys, if you're not.
I get 9.
Great. Those voting nay. I think that's actually all of us. Any abstaining or not eligible? Okay, so it's 9 total. And then non-committee members. Those voting yay, 2. Those voting nay. Those abstaining or not eligible. Okay, whatever. All right, great. Thank you so much, Troy.
Thank you.
Approved.
Thank you
Good
so
luck.
much for everything. Yeah. Good luck.
You'll always be geeky in my heart.
Me too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Bye.
Have a good evening.
You too. Thank you.
975 Amsterdam Avenue, West 59th Street, 2-year liquor license by Super Nice Pizza. Are the applicants here for that application?
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm Dan.
Fantastic. Hi, if you
hey,
could
guys.
give us your name, please.
Hey, Dan Cohen from Super Nice.
Great. Hi, Dan. Yeah, please tell us about your application.
Sure. So I own Super Nice Coffee and Bakery on 196 West 108 on 108th Street. And we are taking over the space that was formerly Spice on the corner of 108th in Amsterdam. And we'll be opening a pizza restaurant, sit-down pizza, no slices, full bar. It's taking over the same exact layout that was in Spice.
No, he's good. I don't think he's good.
I think it's fine.
I thought, he's all right. Can you see and hear us?
It's now, someone just texted me.
Yeah, I can see you guys.
Okay.
Andrew. I got thrown off last night.
Yeah, I don't know.
I finally got on.
Did you tell Jesse?
Is there?
Last night about this.
MCB7 net guest.
All right, so any questions from the board? Comments? Okay, any
Super nice application.
super nice application? Great, any questions or comments from the community?
It's been so nice. I just noticed someone here. Here.
All right, call to question. That was a quick one. Those committee members voting yay.
Sorry.
So we have,
One,
it should be
two.
10.
Two more.
10? That's everybody.
It's just the BCI.
Yeah, it's just the CCI.
Okay, great. Those non-committee members voting yay. Two. Those voting nay.
Before you leave the issue, can you ask them whether they've applied under the outdoor dining? I should have asked the other guy too, because we can't see the board,
Hmm.
but it'll be good to know if it's coming.
Yeah, but
Mark,
it's not
did you
relevant to the.
We have not.
No,
Just factoid.
Hey, Mark, did you vote?
I'm not here.
Oh,
I'll be here when the other part of the meeting. I'm trying to get this set up. So
Yes.
there's a spreadsheet that Jesse wants us to
Okay,
complete.
outdoor dining.
You can ask for them.
He's a figment of your imagination.
Okay, we'll just.
it looks like,
yeah.
it sounds like, but he's.
But he's not here.
Illusions. I'm working with that.
Great, you're approved. That was super efficient, Dan. Thank you for being super nice.
Thank you very much, everybody.
this does go to full board. Right?
This does,
All has.
I think.
Right, except for the joint, right.
Great, next we have 35 West 64th on Broadway and Central Park West for a 2-year liquor license by Global Hospitality Management. Are the applicants
Rosa
here?
Mexicano?
You skipped us. You skipped Rosa.
Rosa Mexicano is 4.
Oh, you're right. I'm so sorry. Let's go back to that one. I apologize. 44 West 63rd, Rosa Mexicana. So I guess the applicants are here.
Yes, Max Bookman, counsel for the applicant. My associate attorney, Eleanor Schotten, is in as a participant, and if she could be promoted, because she's going to be the one leading on this matter. She's raised her hand. Hello,
Hello.
there she is, and then our client is there as well. Peter, his hand is there. He is. Okay, very good. Go ahead.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Eleanor Schotten. I'm an associate attorney at B.L.T.G and Bookman, and as previously mentioned, I'm with the Director of Operations, Peter Katsihis, for the Rosa Mexicano. This is the well-known and beloved Rosa Mexicano across from Lincoln Center. We're just looking to move around the block to a new location. Same hours of operation and concept as the original location. Hours of operation Sunday through Wednesday, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., Thursday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 12 a.m. Live recorded background music only, no DJs, no dancing, no live music, no outdoor space. And I'm here to answer your questions.
Can I ask why you're moving?
Peter, do you wanna answer?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. We couldn't come to terms on a new lease, so we had a really great opportunity around the corner that so we're upgrading. Wanted to stay in the neighborhood. Means a lot to us.
This is,
Okay, well, you're always welcome in our neighborhood.
I think it's a better location. This is gonna be a lot more visible.
What's the new address?
Right.
It's the Empire Hotel.
Yeah.
Great. So Edge Chowder House and,
Oh.
Yes, it's gonna take place at the edge.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
Doug is at the ground floor.
More visible.
ground floor entry and second floor, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a
You're
little
not
mezzanine
taking any
on
more
the
than-
ground floor, and then you go up into the main dining space.
Right. Gotcha.
Isn't there a restaurant there currently?
Yeah, PJ Clark's is
PJ
downstairs.
Oh,
It's,
it's a
like
bar.
a two-door
And
building.
there are restaurants that were up for the lease and they got it.
Oh,
It was a
yeah.
Mexicano, they're great.
It's great.
Got it. Sounds great.
It won't be hard to tell people where you are. It was a tricky address, the previous one, even though it was a beautiful space, but it was hard to find it sometimes, right?
It's behind Atrium, right?
Yeah, right,
Right,
the atrium, yeah.
past Atrium. That sounds good. Any other questions from the board? Any comments, questions from the community? Fantastic. Call the question, committee members voting yay. Okay, that's everyone. Any non-committee members, voting yay? Two. Okay. Great.
And
You're
then
approved. Thank you
Mr.
so much for your time and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This will be ratified
Thank
in
you.
full board October 1st.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, assuming it will.
Oh, born October 3rd?
It is.
Yes.
I'm flying. I really. It's okay.
No, it's not.
Oh, yeah.
Who's next?
Okay, 35 West 64th Street. I went to Global Hospitality Management, between Broadway and Central Park West. Are the applicants here?
Was that the hotel?
35 West 64th Street.
Actually, can I just quick make an announcement? When I send you this is Max, when I send you like a link to be promoted, you just have to click something and that'll kind of usher you into the room where everyone else is. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, Max, doesn't seem like we have anyone.
I'm seeing, is it Frank?
Yeah, Frank, are you able to unmute?
Oh, maybe that's, just click, hover over the square where it says your name and there you go.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Is
Yes,
this-
yeah, I'm the owner of A5, but Frank he asked like how he can unmute from audio call.
Oh, how do you unmute from an audio call? Yeah,
Oh, is he the number that ends in 585? We were wondering, is that him?
Let me
So
check.
star 6.
Star 6. There you
Star
go.
Yeah,
6 is one,
yeah,
star 9 is
6585.
Okay,
Yes,
we were wondering who that
6585,
was.
Frank.
Free at last. I'm free at last.
Is this Frank?
He's
It
free at
is.
last.
Hi,
Free
Frank.
last.
Great.
Hey,
Well,
guys.
welcome. Tell us about your application. It'd be great. Thank
Always
you.
good. Just, I want to make one thing clear. I'm not sure. On the agenda, the proper name is A5. Global Management. I think it was AS on the agenda.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, it's
A5.
AS.
Thank you.
No, you're not gonna.
Thank you.
It's the A5.
Yes.
Oh, A5, yeah, I see, we see it, yep.
Here, see right here.
Restaurant, okay, great. We will correct.
We're proposing an Asian restaurant at this location, was previously licensed, with midnight closing during the week. Oh, I'm sorry. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday closing at 11. Sunday to Wednesday closing at 11. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday closing at midnight. Recorded music only.
Sounds perfect.
Very cool. That's a dated shirt you're wearing. Dated top. It's got the V train on it.
Does anyone have questions for the applicant?
What was in this space previously?
Do you know? I don't personally know. Do you know?
You may have asked it.
Sure.
It sounds like.
Oh, was this Picholine?
Yeah.
Oh.
this is.
Right? This is the Picholine space, right?
Yeah.
What?
We're finally taking it.
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah, I think, right, okay.
That's great.
I think that's right.
Is that right?
I think it is.
34 West 6.
Right, I think I think there was some publicity about your restaurant signing the lease there to, is this a Thai restaurant? Thai cuisine? Great.
Yes.
Very exciting.
Prasmia, are you on? Prasmia, are you on?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, because I can't hear you. The Thai restaurant,
Yes.
and there's we got some publicity, I guess, so that's great.
Right.
Sounds
great.
Any other comments, questions from the committee? Comments, questions from the community? Great, call the question. Those committee members voting yay.
1, 2, 3.
Great, so that's everyone, those non-committee members voting yay.
Take a while, I guess, and say 2.
No,
Oh, we have
wrong, because 10 is here now, so there's 3.
Ken's here,
Three.
that's wild.
Holy Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Well, you didn't vote on 4, right?
No, it's here. Scott, yeah.
All right, thank you so much. You've been approved, and good luck. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is 2 West 77th. 2-year liquor license by Great Performances / artists. Is the applicant here?
Yes, that's me.
Oh, Max back.
I'm back. This time you get me. Hello, everyone. Max Bookman, Pizetsky and Bookman PC. It's nice to see some familiar faces. With me is Roy Moskowitz and Ken Wine from the New York Historical Society, as well as Simon Powell's with Great Performances. So this is an application for a full on-premises restaurant liquor license for the restaurant at the Historical Society on West 77th and the Park. If that sounds familiar, it's because it is. You recently approved them for this type of liquor license at this address a few months ago. The reason we're back is because on that liquor license with the Historical Society was the food and beverage operator who they had picked. They've since parted ways with that food and beverage operator, and they've selected a new food and beverage operator. And so we're doing a new liquor license with the Historical Society still, but with the new food and beverage operator. The new food and beverage operator is Great Performances, the premier food and beverage operator in New York City. They have 20 to 30 something liquor licenses that they're on throughout the city. Many of them are cultural institutions and not-for-profits, which is what they specialize in. On the Upper West Side, they do jazz at Lincoln Center. Your community board recently wrote a letter to Manhattan CB3 to attest to the good character and operations of Great Performances in their operation at Jazz and Lincoln Center. for an application that Great Performances was doing down on the Lower East Side. So these are the folks we want operating in a cultural institution like this. Method of operation is reasonable for a restaurant, midnight closing, maximum 7 days a week. Background music only. We are asking for live and DJ, but for private functions only. Just if there ever is a bar mitzvah, corporate event, something of that nature, they want to be able to have music to suit. We're happy to answer your questions.
Is that across from the coffee shop at the New York?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I'll delegate.
I mean, it's pretty well enclosed, so I think they.
Yeah, Max, when do they hope to open?
Roy, when do you want to open?
Yes, yesterday.
You're muted.
You're on mute. You're on mute, Roy. Unmute yourself.
We will try read lips.
We're hoping to open as soon as possible, but we understand that the license will not take effect, I believe, until early November. So that's our target date.
We're in a rush on our end to file with the Liquor Authority. We're here before you tonight. We're going to work very quickly to get filed and get a temp from the Liquor Authority and open as soon as we can get that.
Could you please remind me again, just sort of what kind of restaurant it will be? What kind of food are you serving?
Yeah, go ahead, Roy.
I
Or
defer to
Simon, whoever.
Yeah.
It'll be kind of a traditional regional American menu. There'll be a great burger on the menu, selection of entrees, pastas, salad, sandwiches.
I think we've either stunned them into silence or they're frozen. Okay, yes, now they're back.
Name?
It's such a revolutionary question. They don't.
Can I? Yeah.
You cut out. You're sort of slowly coming back.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Okay. Well, now you're back. We've got you now, I think.
No. Oh, sorry. I just asked if you had a name for the restaurant.
Okay, I think we have you back now. Was there another question?
Just want to know the name of the restaurant if you know it, or you can share it.
We're retaining the name Clara, which is the current name of the restaurant.
Great. Thank you. Any other questions, comments from the committee? Questions, comments from the community? Great, let's call the question. Okay. Great, okay. Non-committee members, those voting yay? Fantastic. All right, that concludes thank you so much. You've been approved, and best of luck.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks very much.
Great to see everyone again. Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
I think we should let everybody know that even though most likely they are approved, that the formality is it has to go.
It's going to be good. Yeah, it'll have to be.
Max
there
knows
is
that, but.
Okay, yeah, we can.
Yes, we know. Thank you.
Yep, thanks.
The rest are the joint applications.
Okay.
Wait, is there another one? I'm looking at the one that was just sent out.
Is there a way that we can see the folks online? Actually, maybe I can, give me 1 second.
Hey, Mark, did you have my name on the list?
Mark, are you not able to see who's online right now?
I'll deal with that later, but whenever I send out an email, I just go down the list of whatever's on the website. So I must have just skipped over it. I apologize.
It's on
22 years.
I think it is.
I assume it's there, but.
All right, sure.
Because they're supposed to come last one.
Yeah, we see, I see the names here if you want to see them. They're pulled up.
Ken, this is the computer controlling the meeting, so maybe.
Yeah, let's not do that, yeah.
We still have one more application.
Yeah.
Unless Doug is going to take 2 seats.
No.
We still have one more application to do.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, 392 Columbus Avenue. Are the yeah, it's not online. Gosh,
Wait, Ben, have you moved on to the joint? Or you?
no, I'm sorry.
Application withdrawn by applicant is 392 Columbus Avenue.
Oh, that's
what I got.
Yeah, oh, you know what? It's withdrawn in the latest one.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, we got that.
Okay, so joint, how are you doing? Should I walk through it? I'm glad I continue going.
Yep, I'm here. Let me just, I'm trying, in case I need to share my screen, that's all I'm doing.
Sure.
Okay.
What do you guys?
So
I just made you
so
a
I'm ready to go
co-host
if you
as
guys
well.
are.
I'll come around.
Whoops. You can hear me the other way, right? Okay, there's a couple of preliminary things I want to mention, if I can take this, is that okay? Okay,
Please.
all right. First is, I don't see the applications for Bella Luna for the roadway. We have, I'm sorry, for the
Roadway, because I don't think they're doing that.
Yeah, no, but it's on the spreadsheet.
I can tell you that they're not doing roadway.
Okay, so the
That- they-
spreadsheet's wrong, that's fine.
I
We'll just-
saw,
They took them down.
Yes,
oh.
it just happened, yeah.
Okay, great, okay. And the other thing is, I'm wondering if there's anybody here from the Wolfe? Anybody online from the Wolfe? It's 425 Amsterdam Avenue.
Number 8 on the joint.
Okay, I got you.
Okay,
Sidewalk and roadway.
all right, then, in the absence of a clarifying question to that person, I'm going to recuse myself because on that particular pair of applications, because I'm a regular customer at the Amity Hall downtown, and the guy who runs that place was chatting with me over a beer about his outdoor cafe there, and now I found out it's the same, I think they're the same people up here, and so in a spirit of caution, I'm not gonna vote
As
on.
long as you pay for beer, it's fine.
Are you saying,
Real surfer.
are you saying that if we patronize a place, we can't?
No, but he showed me his plans, he said, what do you think? And so.
I think you're fine. I think that's a little.
Recused, but anyway,
Their sidewalk cafe they show was almost 10 feet wide when you're allowed 9.
I'm still allowed to talk, so.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, I'm saying, I'll share with you and so forth. I'm just gonna recuse on the vote. So I think we should go in the order in which Jesse gave us
Yes.
on this summary spreadsheet, which I'm gonna get from Linda. If she's still talking.
Can I just go back to that for 1 second?
Yeah,
I feel like the people who know that we're on the community board, if we're in their establishment, if they mention something to us about their business, I don't feel the necessity to recuse myself for
Yeah.
voting. That seems absurd to me.
this was
I
really
understand what you
detailed
mean,
conversations, like
But
for them.
I can tell you that, and you
Yeah,
probably
I mean,
can say the same thing, that I know a lot of
You
restauranteurs
don't
in this
accept a free
neighborhood.
meal, you're fine.
That's right.
Yeah,
And
and
I
I,
a discount. No, I'm kidding. No, but I mean, I think that people think that they're on the board, they want to ask us our opinion on things,
Yeah,
and
they frequently
I don't
do.
think that means we have to recuse ourselves. Yeah, that's right.
Over
Everybody.
the course of the year, how many beers? I don't know. Anyway, let's keep going. So I think the first application that's joint, where are we?
Barista.
No.
It's 373 Amsterdam
So I thought,
Avenue.
here it is.
Chama.
Okay, there it is.
Oh, I
So, you've seen my notes. They say I recommend approval. It's a sidewalk cafe. Does anybody have any questions or concerns about that? I'm glad to pull up and share screen if that would be useful. Is there anybody online that wants to be heard on this application?
Shama Mama?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hello?
There are only two.
There's somebody.
Does somebody online want to be heard on this?
Yes,
So
I'm
raise your-
represent our mama, yes.
Okay. So are you? Who's speaking, please?
My name is Lasha Amaglobeli.
There you are, and you're, okay. And what is your connection with, this application?
I am a business development officer in that company.
Oh, great. So thank you for being with us. Does
Thank
anybody
you.
have any questions for Chama Mama? Does anybody want to see the plan? I don't see anybody saying that. As far as I was able to determine, there are the required clearances and, I forget whether there's a sidewalk vault there, but, all of them have checked the little box that says that they've done the right thing by it. So is anybody want to be heard on Chama Mama? I don't see anybody with hands up, so, can we call that question?
yes.
All in favor? Joint committee, so, can somebody else count for me, please?
Yes.
She had just,
Okay.
had to leave.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4. $12.
Hands down, denials, abstentions, recusals. So, also we're,
Now he's just.
No, we're okay.
okay.
Josh, did you hear us that it was approved? Sure.
No, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, I think,
Okay.
yeah, you cut out for a little bit, so we weren't able to get that.
Okay, so the joint committees have voted to approve. You're on your way back to DOT.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for. Okay, next one I have is 425 Amsterdam. That's the Wolfe. There's a roadway and a sidewalk.
Yeah.
And as far as I can tell, everything is in order, except that the hours that they quote are the hours for the full operation and not the hours for the sidewalk and the outdoor. And we've already seen one application in which they wanted to go till 3 a.m. and they really did mean the outdoor cafe going to 3 a.m.
Yeah.
So
Good luck.
they had I think they had a particularly interesting reason why. But anyway, so I think we should comment on that. I don't expect a pushback. And yes,
We take a look at that one, because I have a sidewalk cafe marked as being almost 10 feet wide.
For that one?
Yeah.
Wait, say that again, Robert?
Cafe being,
Oh, 10 feet
On
wide?
the sidewalk. Yeah.
okay.
Now that they're not gonna do it anyway after they get approval, but they should at least have their application straight.
Here it is. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So this is 425, right?
And it's the sidewalk.
This scrolling.
Can you give?
Oh, that's because it's July. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, do you want to see the sidewalk? I will. Did that right? I did. Okay. So here
The
is,
diagram.
here's
Yeah.
the,
So that's it, 119 inches is 9.91 feet.
that's right, it's just under 10 feet.
Yeah.
And they claim 120 inches over here, which is 10 feet.
Yeah, but they're only allowed 9 feet. Anyway.
No, they're allowed 10. On Amsterdam. Well, first of all, 10 is bigger than 9. And on Amsterdam, they need to give us a 10-foot clearance, and they're claiming that they have it.
Oh, okay, then
Okay.
I need clarification on something.
Uh-huh.
You're saying that the area that they use their enclosure for the sidewalk cafe can't be 10 feet, that's legitimate on Amsterdam?
you need a clearance, it's not the size of the
Yeah,
cafe,
it's
it's
the
the
clearance
clearance
from
from
the
the
strand.
end of the cafe to the curb.
Right, if somebody set up an outdoor cafe on 97th Street with that ridiculously wide sidewalk,
Yeah,
they could have a 30-foot outdoor cafe as long as they left 10 feet for pedestrian clearance.
that's the important clarification. I did not realize that.
Yeah, no, you were right. That's how we used to do it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, that's right.
Okay.
No, actually, yeah, yes, that's right. That's right. Okay, anyway, so we don't, okay, anybody else want to be heard or want to see any part of, these are the pictures of it. They've actually taken away their former non-conforming roadway. And we'll talk about their next one. Okay. So are we all set?
Yep.
Is there anybody online that wants to be heard about the Wolfe? I don't see any, okay, I'm
Can
gonna,
you just go back to that for 1 second? I'm sorry to
sure.
stick on this, but I just want to see something.
we're here to be sticklers for it.
Because the pavers are 5 feet wide, right? So do you, in those photographs, you see 2 pavers there?
It is just on the paver, but on the other hand, we're looking at the current situation, which is allowed to be non-conforming.
Oh.
So what I'm going by when I review these things is these boxes here, where they say that they're gonna conform to the rules as they have been made. Because, every single one of these ones that has a currently non-conforming roadway shed, and there are tons of them.
Right.
I don't think we should disapprove them because the old thing is still there, it's allowed to be there.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a new diagram and so there's incomplete
Yeah,
plans.
now you'll see later on, there's one where they claim that they have the required clearance, and I just don't believe it.
Will DOT inspect that?
They will inspect it after it's built. Assuming that they've hired everybody that they're supposed to hire. That's it, don't get me started. So are we ready to, I'm gonna stop sharing
Yeah, we
screen
can
on this. And are we ready to vote on 425 Amsterdam Avenue, Wolfe? This was the sidewalk, right?
Yeah.
All those in favor? Are we 12? Is that the number?
Oh, yeah, we're still 12.
Okay. So actually, we're 11,001 on that.
Oh, okay. You're
Oh,
abstaining.
that's the one you're abstaining.
Yep.
They're not abstaining, ineligible.
You're right,
Ineligible.
recused for cause. Okay, so let's now go on to the same one, 425 Amsterdam Avenue, for the roadway.
Yes.
And my notes, my only note was the hours again, so we should condition the hours. And it's conceivable that they will agree that they will abide by the regulations, and therefore this doesn't have, the conditions doesn't necessarily trigger a public hearing.
No, it's Ebar, that's Ethan,
Okay, anybody want to be heard on this? Is there anybody online that wants to be heard? 425 Amsterdam Avenue?
Still the Wolf, right?
The Wolf, that's right. Anybody want to see anything? Then I'm going to call the question. All those in favor? Okay, so we've got 11,001 on that as well. Okay, moving along to
9.
429, well, is it 429 Amsterdam?
Yeah.
429 Amsterdam, that's Memo. And it's a roadway only, which is interesting because the pictures show an existing sidewalk, but we don't have a roadway.
This is Maman. Yeah.
Do you want to see it?
I would like to, because I didn't get the cue and I can't pull it up on my phone for whatever reason.
No worries. So let me,
Right next to what was Haru
Right.
and what will be
There's a new
Piggy Cow.
place, yeah, the new, yeah, I read that today too.
okay,
Did you do that deal?
Forgot. But I did the previous one during COVID and he went out of business.
29 Amsterdam.
Then it became Maman, which is.
okay, so here we go. And I'm scrolling past there, yeah, and they're only open till 6 p.m.
Oh, shoot, that's great.
Okay, so
Not if you want to.
here's
Yeah.
the site plan, which I'm not smart enough to be able to turn sideways, but you see that it's got
Wow.
in effect 2 rows of chairs on one side and then 1 row in the other. Not entirely sure why.
It's an interesting configuration.
You'll see there, yeah, it is. It's probably how they arrange their service aisle.
Mhm.
You see that there's a tree pit over here. And I think that's it for the, and up here, you see that little red arrow?
Mhm.
That's the 1'6" clearance between this cafe and the next one.
Yeah.
Which I think is where you're supposed to put the garbage, except that the new containers are wider than 1'6" wide, so. I'm not entirely sure what that really is gonna give us. And you see that they have said that they're gonna do the right thing. They're not gonna have a floor, and they're not gonna have an umbrella. So
Sort of like the model of how everybody should have their seats is what nobody does.
And that's also a tiny
floor,
place,
everybody will fall
but-
through.
So here's the picture of the existing sidewalk cafe, which I'm surprised they don't want.
Portuguese restaurant.
But anyway, and the one thing I did note in the notes is that it's a current active construction site by DDC.
Yeah.
They ain't building nothing.
Not for a while.
Not for a while, because it took them years to move down to Amsterdam from, what was it, the Thai place on the corner, was it Monsoon? Or yeah, anyway. But they've applied, so we, all right, so are we ready to,
Yeah.
all right, and nobody put their hand up to be heard on this? Okay. Okay, so, this is Maman, Roadway Cafe, all those in favor? I see 12. Okay, next one is E's Bar. And there's, why did this come on? Thought I was being clever. 511 Amsterdam Avenue, E's Bar. And I see 2 people turning on their cameras. So do you want to be heard on this?
Yeah, those,
Hello.
those are the two E's.
Oh, is that right? Okay, welcome.
Hi.
Thank you. So let's do, what do I have first here? I have roadway first. Oh, and I'm sorry.
So Steve, what go, Steve, what go to for this too?
Yeah.
Popping in and out.
Do you wanna, I have it up, do you wanna come sit here?
She can. I'm looking at that.
What are we doing? We're doing roadway.
Are we bringing each one up now?
I thought that's what Linda wanted. Okay, so here's the diagram for roadway. And the two issues that I spotted were, one, the hours that are quoted. This is another one where the hours that are quoted are the hours for the whole operation. And they're different. The dining out NYC regulations say midnight.
Yeah.
So since we have you here, can we ask you, will you commit to the outdoor sidewalk and roadway being closing at 12 per the regulations? And we can then eliminate that as a condition.
Yes,
I
no
see.
problem.
Do we need both of these, or do you guys, can one vote for two?
No
Okay.
problem. Aaron speaks for both of us.
Very good. Then the other is, the diagram, being a little on the homemade side, doesn't show that you have the required 1'6" clearance between what I'm going to call the lot line and the edge of your outdoor cafe. Is that part of your plan? Because it is
Yes.
required.
Yes, it is.
That's next to Tiki Bar, correct?
Well, I
We're
think
in
they're-
the middle between Jacob's Pickles and
Those on
Tiki.
one side and Tiki on the other, yeah. And they have to do the same thing, by the way. So I guess you actually got a whopping total of 3 feet in between these things.
Maybe they'll be able to.
Yeah, okay. All right, so, very good. So does anybody want to see, all right, you've seen the diagram. There's a currently non-conforming
Oh, yeah.
shed there,
Look
but
across the street.
that's gonna go away according to their application. Okay, I'm gonna pull this down. You know what I'm gonna do, since they're right here, is I'm gonna pull up the sidewalk for Linda as well, okay?
Thanks, Mark.
Of course. Assuming that my computer agrees with me. And so here's the drawing for the sidewalk. And you'll notice that this is actually apropos of what Barbara was just saying, that they have a wider portion of the sidewalk cafe on one side than the other.
Yeah.
Because they need to have a 10-foot clearance to the tree pit over here. But there's no tree over here on the left side, so, or the south side, I should say. So they can have a few more tables and chairs out there than they do over here. And I think this is one. Oh, I think you guys forgot to check boxes on the application. Because over here is a box, if you can see where my cursor is. You're required to have furnishings that are lightweight and easily movable and not affixed to the sidewalk. And your diagram shows that there will be furnishings. So we need you to commit that they will follow the regulations.
Yes.
Yeah, and you will, okay. And then it's the same thing with the hours there. You've already agreed to that. Okay. So now we can, if it's acceptable, do you want to see the current situation? It's actually the same photographs. Okay, I'm taking that down. Can we bundle these two?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, is there anybody want to be heard on this? Is there anybody online that wants to be heard on this? Hearing and seeing none, let's take a vote on E's Cafe, both roadway and sidewalk. I see 12 times 2. So you passed the community board, you're on to DOT. DOT will be holding its own public hearing on the roadway. But my belief is that the way we've now, with your agreement on the sidewalk, you should not have to be subject to a public hearing on the sidewalk.
Do we have any indication how frequently DOT is going to approve these rounds of cafes, or we don't?
I believe that they have yet to approve a single one, because they published a map but the map only shows approved licenses, not applications. So for my purposes, it's absolutely
That's right.
worthless. And I called up the map and there's absolutely nothing on it.
So
It's a really nice map.
So
on
all
that.
of these people that are having work done and preparing have no idea when DOT will approve them.
That's more or less correct.
Well, yeah.
And some of them
I
have
mean,
actually
there's-
ordered and installed the new conforming thing.
As a practical matter, they're not gonna be able to reopen until the spring, right? I
Well,
mean,
not sidewalk cafes, they're year, I mean, I
Oh, that's
think,
right, they're year
I
round.
think the
Right.
anticipation is that by the end of the year,
Yeah.
places that applied by, August 3rd deadline, will have been approved by that time. I know that's the goal.
That's the thought, but I know that some places, if they don't have the correct configuration, are just leaving it. And if they get a fine, they get a fine. And they're just gonna roll the dice until they have to take it down. I
Okay.
heard that over a beer.
All right, so East Cafe, you're on to TOT. Thank you for being with us. It's very helpful to have you here. As
Thank you
saw,
so
we
much.
can
Thank
eliminate
you.
issues. All right.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna keep going here with 217 West, is that the next one? Yeah,
Yeah.
217 West. Let's do the sidewalk first, because I think that's the most problematic.
Yeah, there.
Okay. So,
Interesting.
their hours are not controversial,
Yeah.
although they do need to learn the difference between AM and PM. Okay, I think this one is actually useful to look at the picture first. Okay? Now, I know that the current sidewalk cafe is not what they're gonna end up with, right? But it does show you how narrow this sidewalk is and the placing of this parking meter thing, right in the middle of where the pedestrians would otherwise go.
Yep.
Now let's go to the drawing. And this is a side street, so the required clearance is 8 feet, not 10 feet. And they claim the 8-foot clearance here, but they claim it by having a 6-foot 5-inch wide sidewalk cafe, of which, here they say, 3 feet is a service aisle, leaving 3 feet 5 inches for 2 rows of tables and chairs.
Not possible.
It's completely not possible. I don't think it's possible to have, and also you'll see the bevel here, because the bevel is there, because they need to have 8-foot clearance even on the diagonal to the parking meter thing. Okay, so at most, they could have 1 row of tables and chairs there.
You know,
But with a service aisle, I don't even think they can do that.
So if the average two top,
tables, that's all. Because they can keep the one at the back.
Is the
They
applicant on?
could keep the
Oh.
one that's adjacent to that.
We asked.
well, if the average, well, let's say the two top is like 24 inches.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
2 feet, yeah.
2 feet. So if you put 2 feet up against the wall, up against the facade. And then you had, whatever,
A 3-foot clearance, yeah.
you don't have, the law doesn't require the 3-foot service island. So that, and it doesn't define what it is.
It requires a service aisle. It
It's
doesn't-
not-
it
Yeah, like
doesn't
3
say
feet,
3
it used to be, so that's the.
They had really
Because
slim
if you
servers.
if you remove those
Yeah.
tables that are closest to the sidewalk, then you don't need a service aisle for those last 3 tables.
Yeah, you do.
They did not want to serve.
So if it's 6,
Yes,
so
there's
it's
not here.
No, that's not the outside, that's inside. No, what I'm
Yeah,
talking about is inside.
So is it, so they're saying the sidewalk is 14.5 feet, or sorry, no, it's
Almost 14.
yeah, almost
14.5, yeah.
14.5. So if you're putting in,
It's tight.
a 2-foot,
No, they're.
2 tops, which is 2
Yeah,
feet,
you've
you're
got
subtracting
two
2
two
feet,
tops.
and just say you're doing a 2-foot
Yeah.
clearance, so you have,
Had it very.
so you basically have 4 feet, so 4.
You've got 36 inches between, I think that's.
They were staggered.
They're gonna have a hard time with the port.
They were offset.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
That parking thing really
Yeah.
throws things off.
Yeah, the parking, I live on that block.
It's tight. I walk that block all the time.
Yeah.
For sure.
But they've managed to, for whatever reason, it still works even with, and don't get, next to it, you've got a sidewalk.
It still works.
Is
because
it
most
from the
people
applicant
have the
here?
ability to walk.
So,
through the
yeah,
narrow space.
I did call, but let's try again. Is anybody online for this application?
See a hand.
Yeah,
Okay,
Michael Kelly.
hi.
Hi, Michael Kelly. I filed the application. Can you hear me?
Dan.
You can see your yellow.
Okay.
So we're having trouble with the geometry here.
Okay. I can explain it. So this is pretty much the same sidewalk cafe they had before. They use 20-inch tables. They don't use 24-inch tables. That's how we're able to get the 2 rows in. They've had that cafe there for many years.
They've had the cafe there for many years, but these are new regulations with new clearance requirements.
Yeah, no, I know, I'm aware. But the basically where they are, everything is the same, as it all comes in as the same clearances as the DCA sidewalk. We had to be 8 feet from the parking meter. We had to leave 8-foot clearance. There's nothing else on the sidewalk there, and we used 20-inch tables before. That's how we were able to have the 3-foot weight service aisle and the 20-inch tables.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other questions for the applicant while we have them?
A comment. Because
So then we can discuss. Yeah.
the comment, cause I live on that block and this is where I walk my dog every day. There is, you know, there's relative clearance relative to any other side street sidewalk cafe, and I think they've done a good job with it. So I don't have a problem with it, and I live there.
Okay. Anybody else have a thought?
I would just agree, because I walk on the street many times a week, and I've never had an issue where I couldn't get through. I mean, I
And you have-
understand there's the.
And then Han Dynasty, but that's within the property line, but then you have a French roast on the corner, which their cafe also wraps around the side. I don't know.
I had the wrong block. Okay.
It's all the Brenton Hall property.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
okay.
So how are you,
We have to walk
how
around there.
are we dealing with those tables? Do we just pick it up?
Well, I'm a no on this one because I think that they're gonna end up serving from the sidewalk, the pedestrian area. I just don't see.
They haven't so far.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. I think it's too tight, but you know, I have one vote. And so,
So may I ask a question?
please.
Are you still with us?
Yes. Yes.
So Mike, you're saying that the configuration inside the sidewalk cafe is exactly what it's been all the years before?
Except for that one little table at the corner where the parking meter is, that you pointed out. We stuck that one in there. So right where that angle is, that table that's angled, that was not there.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
We can remove that one if you want.
So Andrew, you're saying that they don't need a 3-foot clearance?
no, so the old law required a 3-foot service aisle. The
Right.
new law does not require it. It's,
Of course, a service aisle, but.
it requires a service aisle, but does not
specify size.
specify
Right, but
the size.
a 1-foot service aisle is not a service aisle. That's the thing. 3 feet is.
You've got 2 20-inch tables on each side. See what you're talking about is 40 inches in total, which is less than 4 feet. You've got 6 feet there, so you've got ostensibly a 2-foot service aisle. So what the hell?
Well, that's
You're carrying
the, so
dishes
as long
there,
as Twiggy is their
that's-
waitress.
Believe me, I know it's big.
Well, I'm gonna.
Really dating yourself.
Oh, like I wasn't an old man before that. People are giving their seats to me on the subway now. That's how old I am.
I have to glare at them. to do that.
Right, yeah.
You know what, it's a blonde.
So that
hair.
was you, Glenn.
Yeah, okay, so let's call the question
So
on
it's just,
this.
so we're saying, so it's in compliance with
Yes.
the rules. The question is just whether you believe the service aisle is big enough.
Yeah, whether this
I've
actually.
been servers
So-
have their opinions,
Yeah,
but I've been a
Yep.
server.
So assuming this passes, would the folks be comfortable with the condition that they commit to the 20-inch tables? Because that's what we were just heard.
Good condition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're.
I would imagine since they're using them already, that they're.
They're gonna have to-
Yeah, but that's a big part of why this supposedly fits.
Yeah, we'll ask if they'd agree to.
All right, so Mike,
Yes.
will you agree to a
plates.
condition that you continue to use 20-inch wide cafe tables?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, let's call the question on this. Those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Anybody voting no? Anybody abstaining? 3. And anybody conflicted. So 9030, let's,
Existentially.
okay, so let's,
Same here.
it's a soft no. Let's go to the, roadway. Okay, and then you see the setup. And they've clicked all the boxes that say that the barrier is what it's supposed to be and so forth. I am willing to consider each of these things a service aisle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although you know that what's gonna happen is that the server is gonna go in here and then come around the sidewalk and go in there and, you know.
Most likely.
But,
But they have to go on the sidewalk to get there anyway.
right, but
They can't just.
the idea of a sidewalk is you go back and forth,
Well, right.
you know, east-west, not north-south,
Well,
but.
It's a lot
But
less walking.
I think I think that belief is a philosophy that is evolved.
Let me say, when you're serving food, you're not serving everything at the same time and, you know.
Certainly when I was a waiter.
You know, it's intrusion to the
When
diners
people-
who are
well,
next to you. This is
When
absurd
people
to
are
me.
delivering goods, when you get dropped off on a taxi,
Right.
you're walking this way. When you're delivering goods, you're going off this way. When you're crossing the street, so,
Yeah.
you know, it's a,
All
in
right,
my
so-
opinion, a philosophy.
Barbara, which thing is absurd to you? It seems absurd to me. Those tables are just too close together.
I think this is the
There's
current
no
setup now,
around
if I'm not
that.
mistaken.
But they're
These are all
top
juices.
doors.
Well, it's Mike, right? Is it still Mike?
There.
Mike, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Are these also 20-inch tables or are they
I mean, that
different?
much here, I mean, between. the two of them.
7, 6,
You don't.
yeah, 60. We have 76 inches after the 18-inch barriers. So they would come out to 24-inch tables.
Yeah, but isn't that the current, is that the current setup now where it's essentially six
Uh,
tops?
No, I do not believe so.
Okay, and Mike, I have another question for you, which is, when a roadway cafe on a side street, there's supposed to be a 15-foot emergency lane clearance so that an ambulance can get through.
Yes.
I didn't see a reference to that on your application. Have you made that measurement?
The DOT would have, but we kept our structure at 7 feet instead of 8 because the roadway was a little smaller. But the DOT, when you put in the application, say you put in an 8-foot street shed, and they know the width of the street, they'll take your shed and make you lower the width of it. So they do that on their own.
Okay, then I'm gonna amend my
Yeah.
note and proposal on this one. I'm gonna propose to continue to have, I'm sorry, please go
I have
ahead.
another question.
Yeah.
In terms of the width of the aisles, is it 36 inches for wheelchair access? ADA?
No, they're not. They're not. But the width is smaller. And the weight service aisle is mainly for ADA access also. So the tables on the outside would be our ADA access tables. So somebody in a wheelchair would come right into the cafe right off the sidewalk.
So you just remove the chair and then the person would wheel in?
Yes. This way we have basically 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 tables, which is 1/3 of the cafe.
Right.
I believe in the restaurant, we'd need 5% as wheelchair access. So here we have 30%.
Okay,
So explain to me how you can serve without going onto the sidewalk. Is that, you know, going in and out, that's fine? That's fine with you?
Well, what do you mean?
I'm not in love with it, but I do think that it
Walking
complies.
into-
The idea is that.
I mean, if the tables are 24 inches apiece, that's 6 feet, and it's only 7 feet altogether, so there's a couple inches between each table presumably. But
Well,
it
what did
just
they
is
say?
awfully
Sorry, no, what
tight.
did they say? What is the distance between the chairs, or let's say the
Yeah.
tables?
So
In the
somebody's
cafe.
further out with their chair. That's-
36 inches this way?
Oh,
Yeah, but is that with the chair pulled out or with somebody sitting in it or?
Because the chair is 24 by 24 also, so if that space is maybe 2 feet.
Where did you get into? Did you hear what is the distance between the tables?
I think what you say, is you've only got a couple
Oh, I
inches
just
between
think
the two
it's too
tables.
many.
You say it's too tight. Yeah, what you're saying.
Tight.
I think.
You know what I'm saying, but do we have enough, like, how many inches are in between the tables?
Not counting the chair.
Okay. Or if they know the chairs.
You're probably gonna have about a foot in between each one of those aisles. And if it makes you feel comfortable, we could take out one of the rows of three. So we could spread it out a little bit more.
You know what you could do, I'm just gonna spitball for a second, if you took out the curb lane tables, not the first and not the last, but the three in the middle, then you'd have a service aisle going north, well, in this case, east-west, and you could still serve the hop over table, and you still keep the third table on the wing.
Right.
What do
Yeah,
people
that's
think about that?
reasonable.
Tables are you removing?
The three middle.
Just the three middle tables here.
Table 16, yeah, proposed.
So that's 6 seats, or if you take in one row, that's same 6 seats.
That makes it easier for the servers.
I think it's better for them to eliminate those 3 tables and then have all the rest of them.
Absolutely. And it's easier on the servers.
30.
Yeah.
You guys from 30 seats.
Right.
I just want to note, this isn't a high traffic sidewalk.
No, it's not.
This-
Except for my
this-
dog.
We're just doing this to avoid conflicts.
Well, we can take a vote to approve.
I think it's as high a traffic sidewalk as any other block in.
It's a side street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the shops that we do.
All right, what do we want to do? I'm prepared to approve, but I think that removing those tables makes sense.
I
but-
think these guys are
suggestion in
really,
the-
they're really
in the
solid.
approval, I
restaurant
think makes a lot of
choices,
sense.
And they know what they're doing, and this is, they have 3 restaurants already, they're pretty competent, and they know what they're doing. If they think they can pull this off, and I suspect if they can't, they'll move the chairs, and obviously the first row is ADA compliant, so you get a lot of people, by the way, it's a restaurant that caters to a lot of people my age, so you see a lot of people who need ADA compliance, so.
All right, so tell me what you want to do, because.
Well, I'm not gonna get this unless we remove some tables, but I'm only one person.
Yeah, I think it's gonna pass either way. Should we make a recommendation without a condition?
That's fair enough, sure.
Okay, so we'll have in our notes, it'll say we recommend removing those 3 tables to create a wider service aisle, but will not be conditioning on that. Is that good to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, so with that as our resolution, all those in favor? 12, thank you.
No.
Thank you.
Sorry, I too quick.
Thank you.
I know. Okay, so it's 11-1.
0-0.
And I gotta now figure out my own notes. 11-1-0-0. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Do you have another one with us?
The next 3.
Oh, well then, you're just gonna saddle up.
I guess you've got a hand in all of these.
All right, so we're still gonna go. Why did I do that?
Bella Luna's next.
Bella Luna's next.
And there's no rope waiting for that.
Yeah.
Correct. So that's Columbus Avenue. Where are you?
12.
Why is this?
574.
Yeah, 574 Avenue.
No, Bella Luna's on Columbus, not Amsterdam.
Correct. 574 Columbus Avenue.
Okay.
On the avenue.
Okay, so the hours are fine, other than AM and PM once again.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so here you see it. And the clearance on Columbus is 8 feet, not 10 feet. Why Columbus has a different designation in the road, in the pedestrian, whatchamacallit program? Baffles me, but it does, so that's what we're stuck with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pedestrian mobility.
Mobility plan, thank you. Yeah. Okay, so you see that there is a pretty robust tree pit over here. There's a street sign here, and then the link NYC, so everybody has Wi-Fi when they're out in the outdoor cafe. And then, this is the traffic signal, okay. So you see the setup, and there's a healthy service aisle there. Doesn't
Bigger
block
servers.
anything,
But they don't.
and, okay, all right.
No, they do a good job.
This already exists.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, oh, so, yeah,
I think is it, there may be a
There
change
it is.
to it.
Yeah, they probably have to change, they
Yes,
can't put a roof on it.
That'll be the roof for sidewalk.
No, this is,
Right.
they removed the roadway, they had two roads, those are gone now.
I thought.
Mike, can you confirm, I have on my list here, it says that there's a roadway application, and I don't see it, is there one?
I do not believe so. We just did the
All right.
side.
It's an internal error, that's no big deal. Okay, so does anybody have any questions on this one? They've checked all the boxes they're supposed to.
No.
Anybody have any concern about this one? Great. Anybody online want to be heard on Bella Luna, 574 Columbus Avenue? Seeing none, are we ready to vote? All those in favor?
One
Recusal, so 11-0-0-1.
Why is your thing sideways, all of your?
Because
Float up, it's
Yes,
not-
why is
it's,
that, Mark?
because that's the way the PDF was entered.
All right, mine's, when I float up.
If you could turn the computer.
You can turn it sideways. Maybe we should share yours.
Yeah, no, it's okay, no, please, no, mine, when I float up, it's not, but that's because,
Yeah.
you know. who knows?
Okay. Gotcha. We're gonna now go on to 646 Amsterdam. Mike, is that also you?
Yes, it is.
Thought so. All right. This is Osteria Academia,
Oh.
and so we've got a roadway and a sidewalk, and I my notes were a recommendation of approval of both, and include the usual language about telling them to have a sign that says beware of the bike lane. Okay,
Yeah.
sure they. Okay.
And don't hit cyclists.
Yeah. Mike, can you take 2 seconds and listen to Ken?
Yes.
I came upon an incident, last Tuesday, where the police had been called in an ambulance and, apparently, at least, what the cyclist told me was that he had been riding by and somebody had either elbowed him or, intentionally, or he'd unintentionally hit somebody's arm as he went by. He doubled back, because he was afraid he had unintentionally hit somebody. And, he was jumped on by at least one and maybe more staff members of the Osteria. He was knocked unconscious.
What?
He was briefly knocked unconscious. His face was bloodied, his helmet was broken. The police, I saw them take away one, apparently a staff member in handcuffs, so.
Wow, really?
Whoa, how awful.
What day was this?
Right after full
board.
And I
I saw Ken.
emailed Josh because he came by and saw me.
I thought Ken was starting trouble.
He saw me talking to the cyclist.
Wow.
Oh my
Not
God.
good.
So Mike, maybe a word to the staff,
Was,
but that's not gonna, unfortunately, or unfortunately, that's not one of our criteria, so. But I think it's worth noting.
it was very hard to hear the gentleman. I think it has to do with the altercation one of the employees had.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
you do.
so the story I got from the owner was that this guy was very belligerent, pushing around one of these female servers. And one of the employees put him in a chokehold and the guy fell to the ground. So the other part of the story I got is the employee was arrested. And I advised the owner to have the employee press charges because they have it all on film. Because the employee didn't press charges and he ended up being the only one that was arrested. For a little background on me, I used to be in the 2-4 many years ago. So that's what I advised the owner to do. And they do have it all on video.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Okay.
it would be great if we didn't have to hear that around this table ever again.
Yeah.
From any place.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Not pointing
Yeah,
a finger. here.
fair enough. That's just, that's not what we want to hear. So let's get back to business. You see the clearances here. This is Amsterdam, so it's required a 10-foot clearance, and they've got 12 for a lot of the spaces and 11 for this another blessed parking meter thingy. And they have the clearances from the buildings on either side. And the service. Anybody have any questions? Go ahead, Mike. No? Okay. Anybody have any questions or concerns?
Just ask if they had more space to use, why didn't they utilize it? The enclosed area?
I'm at another hearing. Yes, okay, thank you.
Which enclosed area?
She's saying that the others had more tables and that they had room for other
No,
tables.
I mean, if they have 12 feet and they don't need 12 feet, why didn't they make it a little wider? Take advantage of the space, put in another table.
This
He
is a
wanted-
great opportunity.
He wanted the cafe to be a little tighter together. He didn't want it to come out on that one side all the way.
He wanted to have space, not be so tight.
Yeah, it's
The customer experience.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not so cramped.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Are we ready to vote?
Yeah.
Is there anybody online that wants to be heard? Seeing none? Okay, all those in favor? And Doug is recusing? Okay. So 11-0-0-1.
That's 13.
That is 646 Amsterdam, the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Mark, one question, some of these applications, show, applications right at sidewalk or roadway without the picture of the actual installation up. It's a little harder to kind of evaluate without it, so they'll show it like empty.
But some of them haven't built it.
Yeah, some of the.
Yeah.
Okay, this is 13. Got it.
I guess that makes
Yeah.
sense.
That
makes sense.
It's funny because sometimes the pictures
That's what
can
we-
be misleading.
Yeah, it looks more
Oh, now we do
open,
roadway?
obviously without it, it's
Right.
hard, but it makes sense if it's not built yet, then.
Well, and sometimes if they show you the non-conforming current thing, that can lead you to think that it's.
Right.
That they're doing the wrong thing, when they're intending to do the right.
Great.
All right, so let's keep going to the roadway for the same situation, and here we go. The hours, by the way, are all okay. And so here's the roadway. And
It's small.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
it is small, and you see here the 1 foot clearance, 1 foot 6 inch clearance. Between the lot line and what I'm calling, and then that, so that all appears to be correct. Do they have anything else here? The bike lane notice, let's just go down through, it's the same set of pictures, come on. Yeah, so you see that, you can just see it here. You see the striping there?
Yeah.
That's the buffer between the bike lane and the parking lane, and they're supposed to be clear of it, and they are. Because that's what prevents the door from hitting the cyclist. Okay, all right. Any questions? Seeing none. Anybody online want to be heard on this? Seeing none there as well. All right, so we're going to call the question. All those in favor? We have 11-0-0-1. Okay, thank you, Mike.
Last time, I got one more.
You got 886? Is that a yes?
I'm sorry? Yes, 886 is made.
We'll take whatever you got next to. All right, so here we go again.
Just sidewalk, right?
This is sidewalk only. And it's clear of everything. It has a service aisle. They've checked all the boxes they're supposed to check.
Big service aisle.
Yeah, including the furnishings and all that. And this is Amsterdam, so it's supposed to be a 10-foot clearance. There's a tree pit. They're just 10 feet from the tree pit. And 11 feet from a parking sign, 11 feet from a bike rack. So it appears that they've did all the appropriate clearances.
This one was so fuzzy when I opened up
Yeah,
the
mine is
docs that I
fuzzy.
was not able to read it, so it's the first time I'm seeing this application.
Okay,
It's
It looks fine, though.
all right. Anybody want to be heard on this around the table? Anybody online? Ready to call the question? All those in favor? We've got 12 this time.
This one I was getting used to counting.
Okay, All right, Mike, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have a good evening, everyone.
Long again.
27. The last one is 2751 Broadway.
By the way, all these things are in the Google Drive as I create them. So even if I screw up sharing them, look in the Google Drive and they'll be there.
Yeah.
Okay?
You know, my problem is I have 3 Google Drives, so
So look for the one that says shared with me.
okay, yeah.
Look for
Well,
the
you
one
should
that
have,
says screwed
well,
up.
BCI should be, all right, so what's the last one's 20? Oh, this one, it's actually under September. Oh, here it is. So this is the legendary smoke.
Yeah.
Anybody online here for the smoke? And their hours are okay. And here it is. Smoke has a ADA accessible ramp that goes up the there's 2 entrances, so it goes to the other entrance. So here's one entrance here and there's another entrance down here. And the ADA ramp kind of goes in this space here. So the diagram is accurate, and that's why they don't have tables in there, because there's a ramp and a railing. Okay. And they have it's Broadway, so it requires a 10-foot clearance. They've got 12 to everything except the bus shelter, the structure thing here. Okay. That's 10 feet exactly. And you notice that this side of the cafe is a little bit pulled in.
Yeah, they thought about it.
Yep. Well, they got 1 row of tables and over here they can have 2. So they're doing the right thing, it looks like there. And right, and they're clear of the alleyway. So they're within the footprint or the limits of the storefront itself. Anybody have a question? Anybody online want to be heard on this? Of course, I'm not seeing the hand raised, am I? So, okay. Okay. So ready to call the question?
Yeah.
Yes.
All those in favor? And that's 12. Okay, so next month, we're only gonna call up the pictures that people have questions about or concerns about. But it's 8 o'clock, that's not bad for a dozen applications. Yeah.
Great.
So.
Mark,
Do you want,
Mark, it's
Hello.
Steve Wygoda. I'm sorry, Mom. Oh, it's Steve Wygoda. How are you?
Hey, Steve, good to see you. What's going on?
Well, I waited all this time to say hello to everybody.
Steve.
Andrew, Mark, everybody. I wish I could be sitting there with you like the old days. And I will have a bunch of Sidewalk Cafes coming up. I appreciate everybody's help. And I miss Penny, of course, and I guess we all do. And I've published a book on Sidewalk Cafes. It contains, yeah. So I'm going to drop it off. I'll drop a few copies off at the board office. And
how are you?
I have a sore throat. I'm good. I made it through, you know. I visit Sloan Kettering now and then, just so you know. I won't tell you. And it's fine. I'm doing
Well,
good.
Godspeed on.
What?
You are, and your son's doing a great job too.
Elliot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Andrew and I talk frequently. How are you, Andrew?
Good, nice to see you. Most days on the
Yeah.
phone.
Steve
And
and I go
Andrew-
way back.
Oh, yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, both Andrews, you're sitting side by side. I appreciate that.
The 18.
Then you don't have to remember their names.
How can you
Very good.
forget? And I will be on a separate note or an additional note. You know, some of the discussions you just had, I've done close to 3,000 sidewalk cafes. And so the book contains about 70 or 80 color photos and New York Times interviews and awards. But I have a concern about DOT being a little too stringent. The 10-foot rules from the corner of the trees. There's just a ton of money that lost revenue, not for the restaurants per se, but for the city of New York. So, which could be very useful to keep the libraries open, the pools, and all that kind of stuff. So, I'm going to be dropping off a package at the mayor's office to show the loss of revenue. And Andrew Rigie and I spoke about this a couple of months ago. Remember, Andrew? About the clearances. So I went to work, Andrew, just so you know, and I've got a really nice package that I think would benefit everyone, but since you're
See it.
what?
No, would be interested to read it, but you
Yeah.
put it out there.
So since you're all sitting down, my calculations come up with a net revenue loss because of the clearances, simply the clearances of $1.125 billion annually.
Well, wow.
Crazy, right? It's crazy, but the numbers add up. And Andrew, you imagine that might be the case, right, Andrew?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's coming. So if you see it, it's not because, and I'm not doing it for my own benefit, for me to gain work. I'm an architect. I do ground up buildings. I do restaurants and all of that. Han Dynasty, Haru, they're all my clients. So it's just that it's a shame to see minor insensitivity to guidelines for the city of New York, drop, kind of miss the opportunity. So anyway, I appreciate, and Mark, I really appreciate it. You're on every board now, Mark? What's the story?
I'm writing my own book.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll come to the next meeting in person. So, because yeah.
Thank you, Steve. Godspeed.
Nice to see you.
Bye, guys. Sure.
Bye.
That's all I got. Any new business? No? Okay.
Okay.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Mark,
And Linda, I need you for about 5 minutes because I have to fill in this thing.
Mark, I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you want us to be commenting on the Google Doc about the applications, given that we won't be presumably going through each one of them in detail?
What we're gonna do, if I understand everybody correctly, is we're gonna do what we did tonight, minus calling up the diagram and just say, go around the table on 373 Amsterdam, anybody got an issue? If you want to annotate the document that's in the Google Drive, by all means, please do so. I'm glad to review it and so forth, but when we decide, we'll go around the table and without calling up the diagram, we'll say, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And if it's necessary to continue the conversation, then we'll call up the diagram.
You're cool with people getting in there and.
I was just asking, but just do this in advance and not.
Yeah. Linda.
Also, I'm just gonna quick add, if everyone could sign in as well.
Oh, and I don't have the votes for
Did
your.
everyone?
Oh, I didn't get it. Gosh, I
Okay.
didn't hear your comment.
I just said, just do it before the end. Yeah, but you will, I know.
All right, I think that's a wrap.
Yeah.
Mark, I can just give you my
What?
paper.
W.
Yeah, great.
Why go?
Yeah.
Because I've got an
Steve, why go?
I've got